when the black man of America and the world realize that our wants can only be properly and lastingly satisfied by our own efforts, that we must work, we must make the necessary sacrifice to fulfill our needs, then and only then can we say that we are resurrected from the grave of ignorance and mental death. Today, the black man of America is coming to life. He no longer is satisfied with nothing. He wants what all other human beings want. And again, this is why Messenger Muhammad calls on the black man of America to unite and build a black economy to satisfy our wants. Our basic wants are freedom, justice, equality, food, clothing, shelter, security, and the knowledge and love of self. These wants are very basic, but our wants are really unlimited. For as long as man lives, man shall want. And this is why, as black men and women, we must unite to build a black economy. Man must look to nature to provide him with his wants. A certain amount of food, clothing, and shelter may sometimes be obtained from nature with little or no human effort. But this holds true only of the simplest wants of the most primitive men, and even then, only in exceptional cases. But after noting these few exceptions, we must conclude that nature does not generally bestow her gifts with a free hand. Practically none of the infinite number of things that man wants is furnished him freely by nature. Therefore, man must work for what he gets. Nature provides the material, but man must provide the energy and the ingenuity to satisfy his wants. How can we as black people expect our personal, national, and worldwide condition to change if we shun the field of action? Can we as a people become great without merit or qualifications? Are harvests possible or crops available without plowing and cultivation? Is victory won without labor and perseverance? Can power be obtained without effort? These are mere delusions with which the lazy flatter themselves. This way of thinking is contrary to the divine laws of God and nature. If God ever made anyone mighty and great except through one's own personal endeavor and sacrifice, surely he would have done so with his prophets and messengers. But they all had to undergo trials and tribulations. Some of the prophets even had to fight battles. They all had to labor in order to attain the ends of God. Let us then be resigned to the fact that we shall not have progress but in direct relationship to our labor. We must unite and build a black economy, for this is the only way for black people to satisfy our wants. According to its definition, economics is the science of man's activities devoted to obtaining the material means for the satisfaction of his wants. But why must we have a black economy? Though basically and generally all human beings want the same things, yet no one can deny that the black man of America's condition is unique. Consequently, the black man's wants are oftentimes unique and specific. Therefore, the science or knowledge of economics must be applied specifically to the black man of America's unique condition to enable us to obtain the material means of satisfying our wants. We must build a black economy. If we depend totally on white people to satisfy the wants of black people, we must then depend on the corrupt politics of white America. Our history of demonstrations nationally, locally, and on the college campuses of white America to gain political concessions which would enable white people to use their economy to give us more of what we want has proved to be a failure. Wherever whites have conceded to black demands, it has not proved to be nearly enough to satisfy the wants of black people. Therefore, Messenger Elijah Muhammad is right when he calls on us to unite and build a black economy. For in building a black economy, we will be creating the means to satisfy our wants. Messenger Muhammad teaches us that any people dependent upon another people to take their responsibility to satisfy their wants means that they are putting themselves in the position to be a subject people to another people who are free. We, the black men of America, boast that we are free. But Messenger Muhammad says to boast of freedom of self means that you are one who is responsible for your economic condition. How can we ever be truly free if we continue to depend upon white people to supply our necessities of life? We must begin to do this for ourselves. We must become responsible for self. And in order to do this, we must begin now to build a black economy. To satisfy our wants, we need wealth. Messenger Muhammad teaches us that Allah promises us wealth, money, good homes, and friendship in all walks of life if we submit to Him and obey His laws. This promise is not binding on belief alone, for in Islam, mere belief counts for nothing except carried into practice. The Bible backs this up in these words: faith without works is dead. To submit to Allah means to carry into practice those principles which would bring us into the possession of money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. So if we think that we can have wealth and success on Allah's promise alone without work, sacrifice, and perseverance, and if we think we can have friendship in all walks of life without carrying into practice the moral laws of God which produce friendship, and if we think we can have wealth without practicing the principles of economy, we have gravely misunderstood the teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad.